Welcome to today's video. In this video, I'm going to continue looking at ratio and proportion. So in today's video, I'm going to look at equivalent ratios of fraction ratios. So in this video, we are going to find equivalent ratios of given ratios, which are going to be fractions. So watch this video up to the end, as I'm going to show you how you can find equivalent ratios of the given ratios when the ratios given are fractions. Okay, let's get into solving the given problem. So in this video, we're going to use these three problems. Okay, we're going to use those three problems to demonstrate on how you can find equivalent ratios of the given ratios when the ratios given are fractions. Okay, let's get started with question 1. So question 1, we have got 1/4 to 7/8. So what we're going to do, we're going to rewrite these fractions, or this ratio, we're going to write it. After we have done that, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to find the common denominator of the denominators. Okay, the common denominator of the common denominators, the lowest common denominator of 4 and 8. Okay, so as you can see, 4 and 8 are the denominators of these two fractions. So we're going to find the common denominator, the lowest common denominator, which is going to be the highest common factor of 4 and 8. Yeah, the lowest common factor of the lowest multiple of 4 and 8. We're going to look for a lowest common multiple of 4 and 8. The lowest common multiple of 4 and 8. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to find a number where 8 and 4 can go into. Okay, the smallest number where 4 and 8 can go into. So we can see that 4 can go into 8 and 8 can go into 8. So we're going to use 8. 8 is going to be our lowest common multiple of 4 and 8. So we're going to write 2 8s there. Okay, let me just see. Okay, like that. Once we've done that, then we're going to focus on this fraction. Okay, we're going to focus on the first fraction, which is 1/4, the one I've circled there. Okay, so what I'm going to do with that fraction, I'm going to find I'm going to divide 80 by the denominator of that fraction, which is 4. So I'm going to divide 8 divided by 4 will give us 2. Then the quotient I'm going to get, I'm going to multiply it by the numerator of that fraction, which is 1. So I'm going to do it like this, 2 by 1. So 2 is the answer I've gotten when we divide 8 by 4, and 1 is the numerator in that fraction. Okay, so now I've gotten 2 multiplied by 1. Then I'm going to go to the next fraction, which is that one, 7/8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide 8 here, divide by the 8, which is the denominator in that fraction, which is 8 divided by 8 will give us 1. Then I'm going to multiply 1 by the numerator of that fraction, which is 7. So which is going to be 1 by 7, like that. Okay, once we have done that, then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply 1 by 2 will give us 1 by 2 will give us 2, then over 8. Okay, the 8 I'm getting is just that the denominator of that 2 by 1, then the denominator, which is 8. Okay, then once I've done that, then I'm going to say 2, then 1 by 7. I'm going to say 2, then 1 by 7 will give us 7, then over 8. Okay, the same 8, which is the denominator there. Okay, once I've done that, then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore the denominators. Then I'll pick the numerators to form the ratio. So I'm going to pick 2 in the first fraction. 2 is the numerator in the first fraction. Then, which I'm going to say 2 to 7, because I've picked 7 there on top. Then I write it down here. then we have got a ratio which is 2 to 7, and that is the equivalent fraction. So the equivalent fraction of, also not fraction, the equivalent ratio of 1/4 to 7/8 is 2 to 7. 2 to 7 is equivalent to 1/4 to 7/8. Okay, now let's go to question number 2. Question number 2, we have got 3 to 1/2. Okay, 3 to 1/2, or 3 to half. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite that number, that ratio. Okay, all right. Okay, once I've written that ratio, the next task I'm going to do is I'm going to change 3 to become a fraction. I'm going to make 3 to become a fraction without 3 losing its value. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to write over 1. Okay, over 1. So 3/1 is equal to 3. So 3/1 has the same value as 3. Once I've done that, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find a common denominator by finding the lowest multiple of 1 and 2. The lowest multiple of 1 and 2. So the lowest multiple of 1 and 2 is 2 itself. So I'm going to write 2 2's like that. Once I've done that, then I'm going to say, I'm going to focus on the first fraction. Okay, the one of second there. That's the one I'm going to focus on. Then I'm going to say 1, which is a denominator in that fraction. How many times can 1 in that fraction go into 2? There were 2 below here. It will go 2 times. So since it can go 2 times, then I'm going to multiply 2 by 3, which is the numerator in that fraction of second. Okay, I'm going to get the denominator from that fraction, which is 1, the one of second in yellow. I'm going to get 1 there, then I'm going to divide, let me say I'm going to divide this 2 on the right side, divide by 1, which is the denominator in that fraction of second in yellow. So 2 divided by 1, which is a denominator in that fraction, will give us 2. Or we can say the denominator, which is 1 there, into this 2, it will go 2 times. So since it can go 2 times, that means I'm going to multiply that quotient I've found, 2, multiplied by 3, which is a numerator in that fraction. So I'm going to have 2 multiplied by 3. Okay. Okay. Once I've done that, then I'm going to go to the other fraction, the one of second in yellow, where we have got 1/2. 2 is the denominator. So I'm going to first write there okay. Once I've done that, then I'm going to say 2 divided by 2. The denominator, the 2 here on the right side, divided by the 2, which is a denominator in that fraction. So 2 divided by 2 will go 1. Then I'm going to multiply that 1, the quotient I've gotten, by 1, which is a numerator in that fraction, which is 1 by 1. Then I'm going to find the product of those numbers in brackets. Okay, so let me start with the ones which are on the left side. 2 multiplied by 3 will give us 6, which is over 2. Then I'm going to say 2. Then 1 by 1 will give us 1. Then over 2, the denominator. Okay, just like I did in the first example, I'm going to ignore the denominators, which are 2. The denominators, the 2 denominators, which are 2 there, I'm going to leave them out. I'll ignore them, and I'll just focus on the numerators. So I'm just going to write the numerators. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write 6 to 1. Okay, 6 to 1. So 6 to 1, that is the ratio I've gotten. So 3 to 1/2 is equivalent to 3 to 1. 3 to 1/2 is equivalent to 6 to 1. Okay, now let's go to question 3. So question 3, we have got 1/3 to 2 1/2 to 4. Now we need to find the equivalent ratio of that ratio. So what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change these fractions into improper fractions, these mixed fractions into improper fractions. So how do we do that? If you don't know how to change improper fractions into mixed fractions into improper fractions, you can watch on we can check on our videos. We have got a video where we demonstrated how to change improper fractions, mixed fractions into improper fractions. So what we're going to do is we're going to change these two fractions into improper fractions, and then we're also going to make 4 a fraction. Okay, so to change these fractions into improper fractions, these mixed fractions into improper fractions, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply 3 multiplied by 1 will give us 3, then plus 1 will give us 4. So we're going to write 4. Okay, we're going to write 4, which is 4 over the denominator in that fraction is 3, so it's going to be 4 over 3. Okay, 2. Then the second mixed fraction, we say 2 by 2 will give us 4, plus 1 will give us 5. Then we say over, what is the denominator in that mixed fraction is 2, so we're going to say over 2. Okay, once we've done that, then we're going to say 2. Then we change 4 into a fraction without 4 losing its value. So we're going to do like we did in the previous example. We're going to write 4 over 1. Okay, once we've done that, the next thing we're going to do now, is we're going to find the common denominator of these 3 fractions by finding the lowest common multiple of 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're going to find the lowest common multiple of 3, 2, and 1. So the lowest common multiple of 3, 2, and 1 is 6. So we are going to say that is the lowest common multiple of 3, 2, and 1. Okay, then we're going to say, we're going to put the line there. Then once we have done that, that means I'm going to divide 6 by 3, the 3 which is the denominator from the first fraction we have formed. So the 3 which will give us 2. The 3 I'm talking about is this one, the one I've circled in yellow. So I'm going to divide this 6 by that 3, which will give us 2. Then that 2 will be multiplied by 4, which is the numerator of that fraction, which is going to be like that. Then we're going to say 2. Then we come on the middle fraction. Here we pick 2. Then we divide 6 by 2, which will give us 3. Then this 3 will be multiplied by the numerator, which is 5. Then we multiply by 5. Then we say 2. Then we pick 1 here, and then we divide 6 by that 1, which will be 6 divided by 1 will give us 6. Then that 6 will multiply by the numerator, which is 4. Then multiply by 4. Okay, once we have done that, then we can now go ahead and multiply these numbers which are in brackets. Now remember, you should also remember that we can also leave 6 out at this stage. The 6 I'm talking about is this one I've circled. We can leave it out here. When we leave it out here, we just ignore it from here. As you can see, I just wrote 1, 6. That means all those fractions, their common denominator is 6. So if we can leave 6 out there, that means we will skip this stage where we have 6 over 2 and 1 over 2. Can skip that stage. Once we have skipped that stage, and then we can that's when we can now write just the ratio down. Okay, what I mean to say is we're just going to get the product of that, and those products will be our ratio. Okay, so let's start getting the product. So we can say 2 by 4 will give us 8. Then 3 by 5 will give us 15. Then 6 by 4 will give us 24. So this is our final ratio. So the equivalent ratio of 1 over 3 to 2, 1 over 2 to 4 is 8 to 15 to 24. Okay, so basically this is how you can find the equivalent ratios of given ratios and when those ratios are fractions. Okay, thank you so much for watching. It has been easy learning Z mathematics. The future is bright. See you in the next video and God bless you.